For centuries, the planet had been quiet, almost forgotten. Its surface was a mix of rocky plains and jagged mountains, where dust and ash covered what once had been cities and settlements. Scientists and explorers occasionally spoke of the planet, but no one truly cared. It was considered unimportant, a place where nothing of value could be found. That was why the news of the discovery shocked everyone who learned about it. Hannah Lee, a young archaeologist, had spent her life studying old legends and long-lost civilizations. She believed there were still secrets buried deep under the surface of old worlds, secrets that could change how people saw the galaxy. Her team had traveled to this planet after receiving unusual readings from orbital scans. The signals were faint, unusual, and unlike anything seen before. It was Hannah's hope that these readings would lead them to something incredible. Captain Dae Kim led the survey team that had been sent to the planet to make sense of the readings. He was a careful and experienced leader who understood both the dangers and the excitement of exploring uncharted worlds. Dae had seen many strange things in his career, but the possibility that a human relic from centuries ago might still exist was thrilling. He often reminded his team that they needed to move slowly, carefully, and respect whatever they might find as their ships landed on the dusty surface. The team began scanning the surrounding area with ground-based sensors. Hannah and Dae walked together across the uneven terrain, discussing what might be hidden beneath the ground. Hannah pointed to a series of unusual shapes in the rocks and ash. "Look at these," she said, brushing away some of the surface dust with a gloved hand. "These shapes don't match natural formations. Something was built here long ago." Dae knelt down and examined the markings. It's hard to tell what it was. It could be the remains of a settlement or something much larger. Either way, we need to follow the readings and see what's under the surface. Using a combination of excavation tools and advanced scanning equipment, the team began carefully digging into the area. Hours passed, and the planet's quiet wind blew dust around them. They uncovered pieces of metal and strange components that did not seem like ordinary debris. Some of the pieces reflected light in unusual ways, and others had shapes that resembled mechanisms designed for a purpose that no one alive could remember. Hannah's excitement grew with every discovery. "This is incredible," she whispered to herself. Everything we thought we knew about our history could be wrong. Finally, after several days of careful work, the team uncovered a massive structure buried deep under the ash and rock. At first, it looked like a mountain or a hill, but as they cleared more of the surrounding debris, it became clear that it was a ship, enormous in size and perfectly preserved. Its surface was covered with a layer of dust, but the design was unmistakably human. Even though it was unlike any ship known in modern times, the scale of the ship stunned the team. It was larger than any battleship currently in service, far more advanced than any human technology they had seen. Hannah stepped back, unable to hide her awe. It's a super-battleship," she said, her voice trembling. "From centuries ago. How could it survive buried for so long?" Dae activated the ship's external sensors to get a better look. The ship's systems responded faintly, lights flickering across its surface. It was as if it was slowly waking from a long sleep. The team watched in amazement as the ship's massive hull shimmered slightly under the dusty surface, revealing its incredible engineering. The size, the design, and the energy readings were all beyond what the galaxy's current civilizations could imagine. "Captain, the power readings are rising," Jisoo Park, the ship's systems engineer, said from her console. "It's alive in some way. Not fully awake, but it's responding." Dae looked at Hannah, then back at the ship. "This isn't just a relic. This is something that was built to survive, to last. If it wakes completely, the galaxy won't be able to ignore it." The team continued their careful work, moving closer to the ship to study it. They noticed strange symbols etched into its hull, writing that no one alive could easily read. Hannah examined the symbols, tracing them with her fingers. These markings, they tell a story, she said. A story of war, of survival. This ship was built for something important, something that its builders believed was worth preserving forever. As night fell, the team set up temporary shelters near the ship. The quiet of the planet was broken only by the soft hum of the excavation equipment and the occasional distant rumble of shifting rocks. Hannah could not stop thinking about what they had found. She imagined the people who built the ship, their hopes, their fears, and the reason they had buried it. Somehow, the ship had survived the centuries, waiting for someone to find it. During the night, strange lights appeared around the ship. They were faint, almost like pulses, moving along the hull. Jisoo checked her instruments and confirmed that the ship was starting internal systems, waking slowly. "It's preparing itself," she said. "We need to be careful. We don't know what will happen when it fully activates." Day agreed. "We proceed slowly. No sudden moves, no attempts to force it to respond. Let it wake in its own time. If this is truly a super-battleship, it might have defenses we cannot understand yet." Hannah stayed near the ship, unable to sleep. She felt a connection to it, as if it were calling out to her and the team. The pulsing lights seemed almost like a heartbeat. She whispered to herself, "We are the first humans to see you in centuries. We will not let your story be lost again." By morning, the team had made more progress. Panels on the hull were opening slowly, revealing inner mechanisms. The ship's surface had small openings that looked like weapons bays or docking ports. Every detail confirmed that this was a human creation, made with precision and intelligence far beyond what was possible now. The team realized that this discovery could change how the galaxy saw humanity. They had believed humans had disappeared, but here was proof that the legends were true as they prepared to move closer. The first faint signals from the ship were detected. They were small, almost like whispers, but they reached far beyond the planet. Day and Hannah looked at each other, understanding the magnitude of what was happening. "It's sending a message," Hannah said. "But to whom?" Jisoo analyzed the signals. "They're not meant for current civilizations. They seem designed to reach other human creations, other ships that might be hidden or lost. It's calling out to its kin." The team realized the truth slowly, with a mixture of fear and excitement. This was not just a ship. It was a guardian, a relic of an age when humans were powerful and feared across the stars. Its awakening could change everything, but for now, it remained silent, hidden beneath the ash and rock. The galaxy was unaware, but that silence would not last. Hannah stood at the edge of the excavation site, watching the ship shimmer under the rising sun. She knew that they had uncovered something extraordinary, something that could change history. "We have found it," she said quietly, "and the galaxy will never be the same." For centuries, it had slept. Now, it was waking. And soon, the world would see the first signs of a power long thought lost. The human super-battleship, buried for centuries, was alive once more. Across the galaxy, sensors and satellites picked up the unusual signals from the newly awakened ship. At first, officials in different star systems thought it was a malfunction, a glitch in the readings. But as more data came in, it became clear that something extraordinary had been discovered. A human super-battleship, long thought lost to history, was active again. Commander Hoon Choi watched the reports come in from the fleet headquarters. He had served in the galactic military for decades, and he had seen strange things before, but nothing like this. He rubbed his chin and leaned closer to the display. "It can't be real," he muttered. The energy readings, the size of the ship, and the signals it emitted all pointed to a human creation, far older than anyone had believed possible. Meanwhile, on the surface of the forgotten planet, Hannah Lee and her team continued to study the super-battleship. It had fully awakened now, its lights glowing steadily, its systems running quietly. Jisoo Park monitored the ship's internal activity and shook her head in amazement. "It's repairing itself," she said. "The systems we thought were gone. They are coming back online. Slowly, but surely." Dae Kim paced the area around the ship, keeping the team focused. "We cannot rush this. We don't know what it will do once it is fully awake. All we can do is observe and stay safe." He paused and looked at Hannah. "But this is beyond anything we ever imagined. Humanity built something incredible, something the galaxy has forgotten." Inside the ship, the command intelligence was beginning to react to the humans on the surface. It had been programmed to respond only to humans, and it was carefully analyzing the team. It checked their identities, their intentions, and their presence. The ship's massive systems moved cautiously, as if awakening after a long sleep. It did not rush. It did not attack. It waited, calculating and learning. Back in the wider galaxy, news of the ship spread like wildfire. Political leaders debated, scientists speculated, and military commanders worried. Messages were sent across systems, asking for verification. Was it really a human ship? Could it be a threat? The legends of human fleets that had once dominated entire star systems were remembered, frightening many who had never faced them. Hoon Choi organized a team to approach the planet, cautiously. They did not want to provoke the ship, but they needed to understand what it was and what it could do. Small reconnaissance ships moved toward the planet, scanning from orbit. The readings confirmed what Hannah and her team had discovered. The super-battleship was fully functional, and it was enormous. On the planet, Hannah and Dae watched as the ship's weapons bays opened slightly, revealing massive energy cannons, shields, and docking bays. The scale of the technology was breathtaking. Jisoo Park could hardly believe what she saw. These systems, they are ancient, but more advanced than anything in our time. Humanity was far ahead of everyone else. The command intelligence activated its communication systems. A low hum filled the air, and the humans on the surface could feel the power of the ship. It was not aggressive, but it projected authority, a presence that demanded attention. The ship was speaking, but not in words. Instead, it sent signals that conveyed meaning directly to the human mind, a language designed for humans alone. Hannah understood some of it immediately. "It is asking if we are the humans who survived," she said softly. The ship wanted to know if humanity still existed, if they were still present in the galaxy. It was not hostile. It was seeking answers. They nodded. "Then we must answer, carefully. We must show that we are human and that we come in peace." He turned to the team. "We need to establish contact, but we must be cautious. One wrong move could trigger defenses we cannot predict." Hannah and Jisoo worked together to interface with the ship, using basic protocols and carefully designed signals. Slowly, the ship recognized them as human and began a limited exchange of information. Data streams revealed some of its history, battles fought centuries ago, other ships built and hidden, and the reasons why humanity had vanished from recorded history. The ship had been designed to survive even if human civilizations disappeared. In orbit, Hoon Choi and his reconnaissance team watched the signals with unease. They could see the energy readings rise and fall, and they knew the ship was repairing itself and powering up its systems. "We need to be ready," he said. "If this ship wakes fully, it could change everything. It could alter the balance of power in the galaxy." Back on the planet, Hannah and Dae realized the truth slowly. Humanity had built weapons not to conquer, but to protect themselves from threats that were unimaginable. The ship was a guardian, a relic of survival. And now it was awake, questioning the state of the galaxy and humanity's place within it. The team watched as the super-battleship began to move slightly, adjusting its position beneath the surface. Its massive hull created vibrations in the ground, a reminder of its immense weight and power. Hana could feel the energy of the ship coursing through the planet's crust. "It is alive," she whispered. "Truly alive." Jisoo examined the sensors. "It is learning about our time, our technology. It is comparing us to what we were centuries ago. It is cautious, but it is curious." They looked at Hana. "We are standing at the beginning of something much larger than us. The galaxy has forgotten humanity, but this ship has not. And it will remind them, soon." The days passed, and the team continued to work closely with the ship. It shared small pieces of its knowledge, ancient tactics, star maps, and technologies long lost. Hana realized that the galaxy's history was incomplete, and that humans had once held the power to shape entire systems. The super-battleship was a living memory of that time, a reminder of what humans were capable of. In the wider galaxy, panic slowly began to spread. Reports came from distant systems of unusual energy surges and signals. Leaders of various civilizations discussed strategies, some wishing to destroy the ship before it could fully activate. Others hesitated, unsure of what it represented. They all felt the fear of the unknown, the memory of humanity's past strength. Hana, they, and their team remained focused on understanding the ship. They knew it was not aggressive. It sought information, not conflict. And yet, the galaxy around them was preparing for a potential confrontation. They could only hope that reason would prevail, and that the ship's awakening would not spark an unnecessary war. At night, the super-battleship's lights shimmered softly, illuminating the ash and rock around it. Hana stood near the hull, feeling the vibrations from deep within. She could sense the ship's awareness growing, its curiosity expanding. It had survived centuries alone, and now it was learning about the humans who had once built it, and the galaxy that had grown without them. The first small contact had been made. The ship was aware of living humans, and the humans were beginning to understand the ship. But the galaxy did not yet know. And when it did, the panic would spread further. For now, the super-battleship rested and observed, awakening fully, its presence alone a reminder of humanity's power and the secrets that had been buried for centuries. The galaxy was starting to talk, and everywhere the whispers turned into panic. Reports of the ship's awakening reached the ears of rulers, scientists, and military leaders. Many had believed humans were gone forever, just a story told in legends. Now, one ship had risen from a forgotten world, and it was enough to shake the entire galaxy. Hoon Choi monitored the communications from his command station. The Council of Neighboring Systems debated fiercely. Some wanted to destroy the ship immediately, fearing its weapons and unknown power. Others argued that it was merely a relic and should not be attacked. Every discussion ended with worry, as no one could measure what the ship could do or what humans were planning. On the planet, Hana Lee and her team watched the super-battleship continue to stabilize its systems. It moved slowly, cautiously, like a sleeping giant awakening. The ground shook lightly with each shift of the massive hull. Hana felt the raw energy emanating from it, and it made her heart race. She had never seen anything so large or so alive. Jisoo Park worked at the control console she had brought with her. "It's not hostile," she said to Dae Kim. "It's curious, learning. It hasn't fired a weapon. It hasn't acted aggressively. All it does is observe and repair itself." Dae nodded, though worry crossed his face. "We cannot control it. We cannot tell the galaxy what it will do. All we can do is stay safe and keep learning. This is beyond anything humanity has faced in centuries." The super-battleship began to communicate more clearly with the humans on the surface. Its signals were complex, but Hana and Jisoo could understand fragments. It asked about the state of the galaxy, the number of humans, and the presence of other human creations. It was building a picture of the modern universe slowly, with caution. News of these developments reached the media of several civilizations. Panic spread as people recalled the legends of humans who had once conquered star systems. Rumors of fleets, massive weapons, and incredible technology circulated. Traders, soldiers, and politicians all felt the fear that humanity could return stronger than ever. Choi received orders to maintain distance, but keep monitoring. "Do not provoke it," his superior said. "It is not attacking, but if it does, we need to be ready to respond. We cannot underestimate humanity. We never have." On the planet, Hana and Day began exploring the areas near the ship, careful to avoid its active zones. They discovered massive docking ports and defensive mechanisms. The design was clean and efficient. Every detail had a purpose. The Super-Battleship was a machine of war, but it had been built to last and survive, not to attack without reason. Dachi Su pointed to a holographic projection that the ship had created. It's showing battle formations, star maps, and coordinates. It's sharing knowledge with us. But it is also showing warnings, defenses, and what it could do if provoked. Hannah leaned closer to the display. It wants the galaxy to understand. It doesn't want to destroy without reason. But it will defend itself and humanity if needed. As days passed, the Super-Battleship became more active. Small sections of the hull shifted, revealing docking bays and energy cannons. The ship moved methodically, as if testing its mobility while staying cautious. Hannah, Day, and Jisoo felt both awe and fear. The scale of the ship and its technology was unlike anything in current human fleets. Meanwhile, other civilizations began sending observation fleets. Scouts, warships, and even diplomats approached the planet, trying to assess the threat. The galaxy was tense. Every move was watched, every energy pulse recorded. Fear grew with every new piece of information. Choi coordinated with his team. "Keep observing," he said. "We must not attack. We have no idea what this ship can do, and we have no reason to provoke it. But we must prepare for the worst." Back on the planet, Hana and her team tried to explain the ship to the galaxy. They sent messages, hoping to reduce panic, but few listened. Many were too afraid to believe that the ship was not a threat. Even All Eyes questioned humanity's intentions. The Super-Battleship, awake after centuries, was enough to make the galaxy remember the power humans once held. The ship itself continued to learn. Its sensors scanned the nearby space, cataloging all life, all ships, and all energy sources. Its artificial intelligence was advanced, and it adjusted to new information quickly. It remembered humanity's past victories, defenses, and strategies, and it compared them to the current state of the galaxy. It was cautious, calculating, and aware that the world had changed. Hana noticed that the ship seemed almost alive. It reacted to their presence, answered their questions, and shared information in careful measures. "It's alive," she said softly. "It's not just machines and metal. It thinks, it learns, and it remembers." Day watched the ship move slowly, and the galaxy fears it. They do not understand what it wants. They only see the power. They only see the human legacy. But they will learn, eventually, that it does not attack without cause. The galaxy began to take sides. Some civilizations wanted to flee, others wanted to attack, and some simply waited, unsure of what to do. Panic was everywhere. Stories of human fleets, long-buried technology, and super-battleships filled the minds of leaders. The legends were real, and humanity's power was not gone. The ship continued to operate silently, sending signals into the depths of space as if calling out to others like it. It did not fire weapons. It did not move aggressively. It simply existed, a reminder of a past the galaxy had forgotten. The humans on the surface understood it better than anyone else. They knew it wanted to learn, to connect, and to preserve its legacy. Hana and Day worked with the ship every day. They explored its systems, learned about its technology, and shared information about the current state of the galaxy. The ship responded in kind, giving them a sense of the human civilization that had built it and the reason it had been buried for centuries. It was a guardian, a reminder, and a beacon for what humans could achieve. And yet the galaxy continued to panic. Military fleets gathered, and whispers of war spread. The human super-battleship had awakened, and the galaxy was realizing that humanity's story was far from over. For now, the ship rested, observed, and waited. Its presence alone was enough to make the galaxy hold its breath, wondering what would come next. The human super-battleship had been awake for weeks now. It was learning about the galaxy, collecting information, and slowly restoring its systems. Hana Lee, Dae Kim, and Jisoo Park worked tirelessly, assisting it as best as they could. They had grown to understand its intelligence and purpose. Unlike any other ship, it was alive in a sense they could feel it thinking, deciding, and remembering. The ship began broadcasting messages to the galaxy. It was not a declaration of war, but a warning. In simple transmissions, translated into multiple languages, it shared its history. Ancient battles, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the reasons humans had hidden their greatest weapons were slowly revealed. The message was clear. Humanity had once fought to survive, and it had built this ship to protect itself and its people. In distant star systems, the messages caused panic and confusion. Some civilizations believed the humans had returned to conquer. Others thought it was a warning of dangers humans had once faced. Few understood that the ship only sought knowledge and to test the galaxy's readiness. The human super-battleship was not aggressive, but it carried the weight of history and immense power. Hoon Choi and his fleet continued to observe. Their commanders debated what to do. "We cannot attack," he told his officers. "We do not know what this ship is capable of. We do not know what humanity wants. But we also cannot ignore it. Prepare defensive measures and continue monitoring. If provoked, it could wipe out entire fleets with ease." Meanwhile, on the planet, Hana studied the ship's data. "It is not here to fight," she said today. "It is showing us its history, its knowledge." But the galaxy does not understand. They fear it because they do not see the purpose. They only see the power. Jisoo pointed to a holographic display. "It is showing maps, old battle strategies, and locations of other human technology that was hidden or lost. It is preparing to search for its kin, other ships, and perhaps other civilizations that it once knew. It is cautious, but it is ready if necessary." The galaxy's panic grew. Stories of human fleets long forgotten began to circulate again. Trade routes were disrupted. Political alliances shifted. Even peaceful civilizations feared the awakening of humanity's lost super-battleship. Hoon Choi tried to keep calm among his officers. "We must not act on fear alone," he warned. "We have no reason to believe it will attack. It only wants knowledge and perhaps recognition of humans in the galaxy. But we must be careful." On the planet, the ship revealed more to the human team. It displayed records of ancient wars, of civilizations that had once threatened humanity, and of strategies used to survive. Hana and Day were amazed. "This knowledge, it is far beyond our current understanding," Hana said. "Humanity was powerful, smarter, and more prepared than anyone today realizes." The ship's systems activated more fully. Its energy fields glowed, revealing shields and weapon placements. But it did not aim at anyone. It was a defensive structure, designed to protect and survive. It had no reason to attack unless provoked. The humans around it understood this, but the galaxy did not. Fear remained, and fleets moved cautiously, uncertain of what action to take. The human super-battleship began to adjust its position slowly. It tested its engines and sensors. Each movement was careful and calculated. Hana could feel the immense weight and power beneath her feet. She whispered, "It is alive, more than a machine. It has a mind, and it remembers humanity's purpose. It will not act without reason." Jisoo monitored the ship's energy flows. It is ready for anything, but it chooses not to attack. That shows intelligence and restraint. Humans built it to survive, not to conquer. But the galaxy does not see that. They only see the threat. In orbit, Hoon Choi's fleet continued surveillance. Small skirmishes almost began as nervous fleets misinterpreted energy signals as attacks. His voice was calm but firm in command. "Do not fire. Do not approach aggressively. Observe and report. Humanity's power is not something we can risk provoking." Back on the planet, the ship began broadcasting another series of messages. They were more detailed, showing humans' intent, their history, and their reasons for hiding such powerful creations. It shared the story of why humanity had chosen to step back from the galaxy to preserve peace rather than dominate. Hana realized that the super-battleship was a teacher, revealing what humanity once was, and perhaps what it could be again. They looked at the massive vessel, its lights shining in the dawn. The galaxy fears it, but we understand it. This ship does not seek war. It seeks recognition, knowledge, and a chance to protect what remains of humanity. One day, the galaxy will see that. One day, they will understand. The humans continued their work, exploring the ship, learning from it, and forming a connection. It shared knowledge about ancient star systems, defensive strategies, and lost technology. The human super-battleship was more than a relic. It was a memory of what humans had achieved, and a warning of what could happen if forgotten power returned to the galaxy dot as weeks passed. The ship became more confident in its awareness. It did not move aggressively toward any fleet. It did not fire weapons. It only observed and prepared. But its mere existence reminded everyone of humanity's forgotten strength. The galaxy trembled at the thought of a civilization once powerful enough to build ships like this, and now capable of returning Hana Day, and Jisoo felt both awe and responsibility. They were the first humans to interact with this ancient creation. They understood it better than anyone else. And they knew that when the galaxy finally saw its full power, fear would spread further. For now, the ship remained calm, a sentinel waiting for the world to understand the story of humanity, buried for centuries, now rising once again. The human super-battleship had fully awakened now. Its systems hummed with life, its shields glowed, and its sensors scanned the surrounding space. Hana Lee, Dae Kim, and Jisoo Park moved carefully along its hull, awed by the sheer size and power of the ship. Every movement they made was measured, understanding the importance of their connection with the ancient vessel Dot in orbit. Fleets from neighboring star systems watched the planet cautiously. Fear was high and speculation rampant. Military leaders discussed strategies, and scientists debated the ship's purpose. Some wanted to attack, some wanted to flee, but most simply waited, unsure of what to do. The super-battleship had not moved aggressively, but its presence was enough to hold the galaxy in suspense. Hoon Choi observed the events from his command station. He had spent decades preparing for unknown threats, but this was unlike anything he had faced. The ship was human-made, far more advanced than anything in service today. Its technology was ancient, but beyond the understanding of current civilizations. "Keep your distance," he instructed his fleet. "Do not act rashly. Observe and do not provoke it." On the planet, Hana and Dae explored deeper into the super-battleship. Every section revealed more about humanity's past. The ship contained records of long-lost technology, star maps, battle strategies, and detailed histories of ancient civilizations. Hana realized the ship was a living archive, preserving knowledge that had been buried for centuries. It had been built not only to survive, but to teach future generations about humanity's power and history. Jisoo monitored the ship's systems closely. "It's ready to move," she said. "It could leave the planet at any moment. But it is waiting, observing, learning more about the galaxy. It is not acting aggressively. It is cautious, aware of what might happen if it moves too soon." The ship sent out a series of transmissions. This time, they were clear, detailed, and intended for all civilizations. It spoke of humans' history, their victories, their losses, and the reasons for hiding their greatest creations. The messages were warnings, lessons, and stories all at once. The galaxy listened, though many did not understand, fearing the power it represented. Hoon Choi watched the transmissions carefully. "They are not threats," he said to his officers. "They are lessons. The ship is telling the story of humanity, showing its power and its reasons for hiding. It does not seek war, but it reminds everyone that humans were once, and could be again, a force to be reckoned with." On the planet, the team observed the ship's massive movements. It began lifting slightly off the ground, testing its engines and thrusters. The ground shook beneath their feet. Hana felt the energy of the ship, strong and alive. "It is rising," she whispered. "The galaxy will see it soon." One ship, and already fear spreads everywhere. The Super-Battleship's sensors scanned the entire planet and nearby space. It identified human relics buried elsewhere, other possible survivors, and hidden technology. Its mission was clear: protect, observe, and prepare. It did not attack, but it did not ignore threats either. Its presence alone reminded the galaxy of humanity's lost strength. Hoon Choi coordinated with other fleets. "Do not approach," he ordered. "It is not attacking, but if provoked, it could destroy entire fleets without difficulty. Maintain distance and continue monitoring. Humanity's power has returned, at least in this ship. Treat it with caution." Back on the planet, Hana and Day realized the significance of the moment. This was not just a discovery. It was the return of humanity's legacy, the reminder of a power the galaxy had forgotten. The Super-Battleship's awakening was proof that humans had once built incredible technology, capable of surviving even centuries underground. Jisoo pointed to a holographic display. "It is showing potential paths, systems to explore, and other human creations that might still exist. It is cautious, but it is prepared to act if necessary." The galaxy held its breath. News of the ship spread faster than ever. Panic and curiosity coexisted. Stories of ancient humans, their fleets, and their powerful technology returned to memory. Even peaceful civilizations took precautions, while militarized systems prepared defenses. Everyone understood that humanity had returned in a form no one could ignore. The Super-Battleship continued to rise. Its shields glowed brightly, engines humming with energy. Hana and Day watched in awe. "It is powerful beyond imagination," Hana said softly. "But it does not attack. It waits, it observes, it teaches." Jisoo nodded. "And the galaxy fears it. One ship, and entire fleets hesitate. That is the power of humanity's legacy." As the sun rose over the planet, the ship lifted fully into orbit. Its hull reflected light across the barren landscape, a shining symbol of lost human power. Hana, Day, and Jisoo felt a mixture of pride and fear. They had awakened a giant, a reminder of what humans once were, and what they could be again. The galaxy slowly began to understand. Humanity was not gone. They had survived, and their creations remained. The Super-Battleship's presence was a message. Humans could return, and they could rise again. Fleets in orbit paused, leaders reconsidered strategies, and civilizations held back from rash actions. Fear, respect, and curiosity mixed in equal parts. Hannah stood near the hull, feeling its vibrations, sensing its awareness. "It is alive," she whispered. "It remembers everything, and it will protect humanity's legacy. The galaxy will never forget it again." The super-battleship did not move further. It did not attack. It waited, watching, ready to act if necessary. Its sensors scanned distant systems, seeking signs of other human relics or hidden ships. Its message was clear. Humanity had returned, not to destroy, but to remind the galaxy of its presence, its strength, and its enduring legacy. For the first time in centuries, humans had a symbol of power and survival that the galaxy could not ignore. One ship, awakened after centuries underground, was enough to make the galaxy pause, reconsider, and remember. Hannah, Day, and Jisoo watched as it settled into orbit, ready to rise further when the time came. Humanity's story was no longer hidden. It was alive, and the galaxy had no choice but to see it.